8 ways managers can support employees' mental health. Uncertainty breeds anxiety, and we are living in uncertain times. Between rising numbers of COVID-19 cases, questions about whether or not to reopen economies and businesses, it has been found that the mental health of almost 42% of respondents had declined since the outbreak began. Much has been said about this short-term mental health impact, and the long-term effects are likely to be even more far-reaching. Many companies had increased their focus on workplace mental health. Leaders are likely to see employees struggle with anxiety, depression, burnout, trauma, and PTSD. Those mental health experiences will differ according to race, economic opportunity, citizenship status, job type, parenting and caregiving responsibilities, and many other variables. What can managers do? The role of a manager remains the same: to support your team members. That includes supporting their mental health. 1. Be vulnerable. Almost everyone has experienced some level of discomfort. But the universality of the experience will translate into a decrease in stigma only if people, especially people in power, share their experiences. Being honest about your mental health struggles as a leader opens the door for employees to feel comfortable talking with you about the mental health challenges of their own. The biotech firm Roche Genentech produced videos in which senior leaders talked about their mental health. They were shared on the company intranet as part of a campaign called #Let'sTalk. A network of employees trained to help build awareness for mental health to make videos about their experiences. 2. Model healthy behaviors. Model it so that your team members feel they can prioritize self-care and set boundaries. More often than not, managers are so focused on their team's well-being and on getting the work done that they forget to take care of themselves. 3. Build a culture of connection through check-ins. Now, with so many people working from home, it can be even harder to notice the signs that someone is struggling. Nearly 40% of global employees said that no one at their company had asked them if they were doing okay. Go beyond a simple "how are you?" and ask specific questions about what supports would be helpful. Wait for the full answer. Listen, and encourage questions and concerns. 4. Offer flexibility and be inclusive. Expect that the situation, your team's needs, and your own needs will continue to change. Check in regularly, particularly at transition points. You can help problem solve any issues that come up only if you know what's happening. Those conversations will also allow you to reiterate norms and practices that support mental health. Inclusive flexibility is about proactive communication and norm setting that helps people design and preserve the boundaries they need. 5. Don't make assumptions about what your direct reports need. Take a customized approach to address stressors, such as challenges with childcare or feeling the need to work all the time. Proactively offer flexibility. Be as generous and realistic as possible. Basecamp CEO Jason Fried recently announced that employees with any type of caretaking responsibilities could set their schedules, even if that meant working fewer hours. Flexibility can help your team thrive amid the continued uncertainty. Normalize and model this new flexibility by highlighting how you've changed your behavior. Stacy Sprinkle, a partner at the law firm Morrison & Forster, proactively told her teams that she was working odd hours because of her childcare responsibilities and invited them to share what they needed to work best during the pandemic. 6. Ask team members to be patient and understanding with one another as they adapt. Trust them and assume the best. They are relying on the manager and will remember how the manager has been treated them during this unprecedented time. 7. Communicate more than you think you need to. Employees who felt their managers were not good at communicating have been 23% more likely than others to experience mental health declines since the outbreak. Make sure you keep your team informed about any organizational changes or updates. Clarify any modified work hours and norms. Remove stress where possible by setting expectations about workloads, prioritizing what must get done, and acknowledging what can slide if necessary. 8. Make your team aware of available mental health resources and encourage them to use them. Almost 46% of all workers said that their company had not proactively shared those. If you've shared them once, share them again. And be aware that shame and stigma prevent many employees from using their mental health benefits to seek treatment, so normalize the use of those services. What else can organizational leaders do? Here are a few additional things that leaders can do to normalize and support mental health at work. 1. Invest in training. Now more than ever, Prioritize proactive and preventive workplace mental health training for leaders, managers, and individual contributors. As more and more employees struggle with mental health, it's important to debunk common myths, reduce stigma, and build the necessary skills to have productive conversations about mental health at work. If you don't have the budget to invest in training, mental health employee resource groups are a low-cost way to increase awareness, build community, and offer peer support. 2. Modify policies and practices. To reduce stress on everyone, be as generous and flexible as possible in updating policies and practices in reaction to the pandemic and civil unrest. For example, a closer look at your rules and norms around flexible hours, paid time off, email and other communications, and paid and unpaid leave. In mid-March, the CEO of Wikimedia Foundation sent an email to her organization outlining changes to mitigate stress, including, if you need to dial back work hours, that's okay. She also committed to paying contractors and hourly staff based on their typical hours, regardless of their ability to work. When you make changes, be explicit that you are doing so to support the mental health of your employees, if that is the goal. As much as we might like to return to the way things were, we won't. So let's use this opportunity to create the mentally healthy workplace cultures that should have existed all along.